A bit of time on this, publishing on LinkedIn. Put your hand up if you've ever published a long form post on LinkedIn before. Awesome. Okay, a few of you. How did you find the response, Suzanne?
It was great. It was great. It was
Excellent.
actually insights from a conference that I attended that was sort of really pertinent to,
cool.
to my market. And so it was just really taking some of the points that were raised, but obviously for people that couldn't attend the conference and yeah.
So what do you think? One of the,
I mean, I think it's a fabulous forum.
And what do you think one of the biggest reasons that your post, got engagement and was successful?
I think because the content of it was of help to the people that were actually responding to it. So in that particular case, I think some of the people were people that hadn't made it to the conference, would have dearly loved it. And so some of the content was really pertinent and useful, and so they wanted to talk about it. So
brilliant. Yeah, so I really like that example, because what Suzanne's done is she's gotten ahead of her target market. What are they interested in? And it wasn't about her or her business. Like rule number one, it's not about you. What's in it for me? Same thing. If you talk about yourself, people don't want to know. You can only tell people two things: what they already know, and people only want to talk about what they already know and what they already know they want to know. Okay, so you can't tell people something that they don't know they want to know yet. Is everyone following? Yeah. Okay, so publishing on LinkedIn is something that I've had to try and test to work out what works. It seems like at the moment the way that LinkedIn pick posts to promote is based on a 10% formula. If you get 100 people looking at your article, 10% have to like it in order for LinkedIn to promote it to a wider audience. Okay, so you could actually go from getting 200 views from people within your network to 300,000 views within a week or two if you get enough engagement. So it's so important that your post is, caters for a specific target market, and that's where you, share it and you promote it in groups and so on and so forth. And I'm going to give you an example, and it's not something that I would recommend doing, but you'll understand the way that people engage by this example. So there's this guy in Sydney who he really likes LinkedIn. I can't even remember what he does as a career, but he posted an article, and the headline was "Why I Left Facebook." Okay. Now, instead of putting a picture of himself or his Facebook profile or whatever, he actually put a picture of Mark Zuckerberg. And so, when you put two and two together, you see the headline, you're like, oh wow, that's big news, Mark Zuckerberg's left Facebook. You click on it and it's all about him, right? And so there's all this engagement, people commenting, and he was got about 500,000 views within a couple of weeks. So really powerful stuff. Again, I'm not saying that that's for everyone, but because after 3 weeks after that, everyone's putting celebrities in their posts and all sorts of stuff. So make it interesting. And the difference between sharing updates and publishing posts, an update's a bit like a Facebook status update, and a post is obviously a longer form thing. Now, who thinks that you should do more posts or more updates? Who thinks you should do more posts? Put your hand up. Yep. More updates? Not so many? Okay. Look, if you're going to do both, you should be doing more updates. They're like jabs. Have you ever heard of the book Jab, Jab, Hook? Yeah. So they're like little just reminders that you're there, cool pieces of content. One thing that I've learned that works really well just from testing it, but it's not really advocated, is images. Just like you do on Facebook, pictures work really well on LinkedIn. So famous quotes. The biggest topic of interest on LinkedIn statistically is leadership and entrepreneurship. So everyone on there wants to grow their business and develop their career, so that's interesting to people. Post is going to position you as an industry expert. That's the main difference. So when you have an opinion on something, you're an expert, because people want to hear what you've got to say, and they may not agree with it, but that's good, because then they'll comment and you create this discussion. If people are talking about it, it's good. Okay, so there's some things that you need to know about posts, and other than just the engagement side of things, they're different than blogs. Question?
I think you're going to talk about it.
Sorry?
Maybe finish first, because I think I have the question and you're talking about the answer.
Go ahead, ask a question.
You've already started the answer to a question.
Yeah, basically when you do posts on LinkedIn, it's like unique content that you create from on the platform, or is like you share what you already create somewhere like Facebook?
Yeah, okay. No, that's a good question. So like you can share stuff and it will appear as a update.
Oh, okay.
And by all means, like do that. If it's interesting to your target market, definitely do that. Don't create everything yourself. That's a time-consuming way to do it. But these ones you have to write yourself. Next question.
Similar question. So we publish stuff on our website, articles, and then we use HootSuite to publish it out to social media. I imagine that just does an update.
Correct.
Rather than posting Facebook.
Yeah. So the question was when you use like HootSuite, which updates, all your Facebook and Twitter and stuff as well. Does it show as an update? And the answer is yes. But it will be an update from your company page. You can tie in your personal page as well, which I recommend you do, because with LinkedIn, the engagement comes from individuals, not from companies. So the company serves a purpose as building rapport and trust and stuff, but you're going to get the engagement from individuals. So, like if you've got a team of like 20 people in your organisation, right? If you have an optimised profile, you should get around 50 views a day. So you can imagine if you multiply that by 20, how much visibility you can actually get within your target market. It's a lot more than what is achievable on Google anyway. So it's pretty powerful stuff, and these posts will rank well on Google. I know you've got a question now.
Sorry, slightly related. So does that mean people in our company should all be attached to our HootSuite to publish any related articles to their contacts as well?
Yeah, look, what's going to happen is people are connected to lots of people in your organisation. They're going to see the same updates a lot. So I'll just encourage them to share,
manually.
Share the stuff, that they find interesting. Okay.
So, sorry, what is the optimized profile? So is that just...
we're gonna get to that. Yep.
Nathaniel, my grasp on the English language verbally is not that great. How do I write...
You're gonna ask me how to spell something.
How do I write posts?
Sorry?
How do I write one of these posts?
Okay. Look...
Is that something you offer, or...?
Yeah, look, this is something that I would recommend that you outsource. Copywriting is a very specialised area. And even if you are a good writer, is that the best time for you to spend in your business? I'd suggest outsourcing it. Whether it's to me or you want to outsource it to like a copywriter somewhere else, that's fine. But just keep in mind that there's two things you need to manage here. It needs to be you need the LinkedIn strategy and you need the copywriting skill. Okay, so if you outsource it to us, you've got both. If you outsource it to a copywriter, make sure you learn about this stuff first, the LinkedIn strategy stuff. Is important. It does not cost a lot of money to outsource something like this. Copywriters are really quick at what they do. That's all they do. They've been trained to be quite effective on it. If you don't have time to do posts or the money to invest in outsourcing it, just start subscribing to other people so you can share their stuff and just become active. If you want more comments on your article, like comment on other people's articles, because this law of reciprocation is massive on social media. Can everybody write this down for me, please? Crowds follow crowds. Why are we on LinkedIn in the first place? Because we saw somebody else join who we know, right? It's the same as Facebook. And when you join, they've asked you to put your email address in, and before you know it, they've sent an invitation to everyone you know on email from you, asking them to join LinkedIn. So it's no surprise that they're growing so quickly. It was only a couple of years ago that there's 6 million people on LinkedIn. Now there's 7.5 in Australia, 380 million globally. So do you think you'd ever run out of leads if you mastered LinkedIn lead generation?
Sorry, can I just ask another question on
Yes.
the post? Could you put a case study, let's say you wrote a case study, can you actually put that as your post?
What do you think?
Yes. I didn't know if it needed to be something not about our business, for example.
Yeah.
So
No, there's very few rules on LinkedIn. They've got rules over like using questionable techniques, I suppose. But there's no rules that says you can't put an article in your summary or in your experience tab. So for example, like there's no reason you can't have 3 experience sections about one job. Why not? You can do whatever you like. I have a post in my LinkedIn publisher, which is a case study, and it was received really well. I've actually sent it to prospects quite a lot. Did you want to ask something, Scott, or not? No. No? Sorry, I thought you. By the way, 8 images is the optimal amount of images to have in a post. Interesting statistic. Yeah, 8's quite a lot, right? So you almost got like 2 or 3 sentences, snippets before another image. And the kind of images that work the best are not your typical like business images. They're the ones that are grabs people's attention. So like it might be a cheetah's eye or a baby with an iPad, you know, or personalised pictures. If you've got pictures of yourself, that's even better. Because you're building rapport with people and engaging them in discussions. And long term, this is what you need to do to position yourself as an industry leader. This is why I'm sharing this with you now, because the connecting and sending messages and stuff will get you a result right away. You can within 30 days, you can transform your business. You could double your business within the next 6 months using this strategy. I know because I've done it. I've done it for our clients. The reason it doesn't happen for everyone is because people just don't implement it.
It was 8 minimum?
Sorry?
8 minimum images in
Optimal amount.
Optimal.
Yeah. Okay. The headline is very important for your articles. You want to be engaging, so it's kind of like you've got to be subjective in your headline, or ask a question, make it something that creates curiosity, for example. Okay. I'm going to do what David did and give you a minute to just turn to your partner and come up with a headline each, and then we're just going to ask a couple of you to share them.
Thank you for being here. You go first.